Andre, Amber's talked a lot, I'm trying to think of how it works. Amber's talked a lot about how having Bryler and caring for him has changed a lot of her role in the family. How has having Bryler and attending to him changed your role in the family?
I've definitely become more of a breadwinner role, like I already was when we first got married. We were both working, and then she got pregnant, and then Bryler came along. So I was the primary source of income. So I saw it as my job, more of my job, to definitely go to work and do well in work and bring home the money. And I also saw myself as a part-time stay-at-home dad, if you will, because right after work, I go straight home and I help her with what I can. I cook, I clean. Sometimes I say, hey, go take a nap, go rest or something, I'll take care of it. And I try to help her with what I can. There are some days when I come home and I'm exhausted too, and sometimes I take a break. I know that it's unfair to her, but there are days where we kind of like switch up what we do and whatnot. So that's didn't change my role, if that answers your question at all.
Amber, tell us a little bit about the satisfaction you feel with his involvement with Bryler and when he comes home and when he works and things like that. Do you feel like there's a good balance of you care for the child and he works, or do you feel like it would be helpful for you to be a little different, or what?
I mean, I appreciate everything that Andre does when he comes home. It's a huge help just to be able to take a nap every once in a while or just get away. But I realize that he works full time and that he's exhausted when he comes home. But just Bryler's care is so much that I need some kind of help, whether it's from him or from somebody else. I just need someone to help supplement care during the day because I'm just drained. I'm so exhausted.
When I think about the concern you presented at the beginning about making a decision about having another child, I'm wondering what factors you think need to be considered to be able to help you decide.
Go ahead, honey.
I know Andre has said that we're fine financially, but his Bryler's surgeries have taken a bit of a toll on our finances, and so I am concerned. I mean, pregnancy costs, having a child costs, and so I'm just concerned that on top of Bryler's medical expenses, we'll have normal child care expenses just with the birth of another child. So that worries me a bit, and then just day-to-day care, like if we could find I would prefer that I take care of Bryler as much as possible, but if we could find a daycare that I feel is adequate, that has enough medical knowledge for him, then we would have to find, I guess that would be a major concern as well, like something that we could possibly find if we have another child.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Well, I was just going to repeat, the two I heard from you are financial concerns and how can we have supplemental child care so you're not carrying the whole load.
I think we could afford it.
So for you, the financial concerns aren't as great. What are other factors, though? I did hear one earlier from you, and that is spacing of kids.
Yes.
So that's a factor that you would want to consider.
Yeah, I thought about in the future when Bryler's older, and if his or her sister, his sister or brother, I didn't want there to be that age difference where the brother or sister says, oh, it's just Bryler and he's this and he's that. But I want them to be close enough to him in age where they say, I want to help him too. I want to take care of him too. I want to be there. I want to let everyone know that he is my brother. And so that's what I wanted with having a child. And we've talked so long about having more than than one child. I feel like now would be the best time to do it, seeing just for the age difference and just to, pursue our dream of having children.
So, then your factor is spacing and not wanting to be disappointed that you won't get to have the dream of multiple kids. What are other factors that you think you'd have to consider as you try to determine having a baby?
Well, ever since we started dating, we've always decided that we were going to make decisions together and rely on God's plan for that. One of the factors that we didn't have in mind, I don't know, honey, what do you think?
I mean, something that I've mentioned and concerned over is that as our second child could possibly have medical issues as well. So that's something that I think that we should take into consideration. What if, our second child does have medical needs as well?
That's true. That is one thing we need to keep in mind.
I'm stepping out in the teaching role for a moment. What I want to do is get them to have some factors that then we could go back in at some point and say, how could you explore these factors? And so when I moved into intervention stuff, I would want to harken back to, okay, you're worried about finances, so what can we do to lay it out so that you have a clear picture of your finances? What could we do to check out genetic testing? What could we, so that's kind of why the questioning is in that area, is to try to help them think through what they need to know to make the decision. You all have other questions to ask them?
You talked earlier about the strain it's had on your relationship. Can you go into more detail of how your relationship has changed from when you first started dating to after Bryler?
Well, when we first started dating, we were the typical cutest high school couple and cutest college couple. Then it was a great time. We always laughed a lot. We always spent time together doing fun things. She loves to rock climb, and so we rock climb a lot together. But ever since Bryler came along, we don't do anything that we used to do before. We don't have time. On Saturdays, we might go on a walk in the park, or we might try to catch a movie, or we'll try something like that, but it's not near the same. And it's been a little difficult, and our sex life hasn't been very active either. And so this is a real life situation, right? I'm just saying that's the truth. I'm sorry. And so that it's been causing strains in our relationship. I wouldn't say that they're crazy strains because, like I said, we have a support group, and we are both healthy, mature, level-headed people, so we do manage to think things through and talk things out. But every now and again, especially on the days when we're extremely tired, we tend to just not be as concentrated, not be as focused, and just tend to argue over the smallest things. And then we have to take space apart from each other and just critically think through our emotions and how to go about it. But in the end of the day, this decision about having a child has been the biggest disagreement we've had today.
So you miss that relationship that you did have, and you've noticed the strain from having Bryler and for having different opinions on having another child. Amber, how about you? How do you feel the relationship has changed over time?
I mean, I agree with Andre. We used to do a lot more things together, but we've both been so exhausted because of working in his care, and we just don't have the time to do things that we want to do together. And we rarely get time away from Bryler. Usually when we go out and do things, it's with Bryler, so it's not really a break necessarily. It might be some kind of fun activity, but but we still have to care for him as we're doing it, so.
So you feel just tired and drained and like you don't have time to pour into each other?
Yeah.
How do you think the addition of a child would impact your current situation?
I worry that it will just increase the strain we already feel, just because, especially if we can't have supplemental child care, then I'll be responsible for caring for two children that have, an infant has significant needs, and then Bryler also has medical needs that are significant, and I feel like I'll just be more overwhelmed, and that will take even more of a toll on our relationship. What do you think?
I disagree, because I feel when we were dating, we always talked about having a baby and how much you loved babies and how much you wanted to have a little baby you could cradle and take care of. And seeing you around other kids while we were dating really made me know that I wanted you to be my wife, because you were so happy to be with a child, and I saw how much having a child in your arms and playing with you made you legitimately and genuinely happy. And so I wanted to have another child so that I feel like you could care for that child, but we could both care for that child, but at the same time, it would help both of us rejuvenate, not just our relationship, but rejuvenate you and me, because we both love kids so much. I feel like as far as like financial stress, like I said, I feel like we could manage, because I'm pretty good at what I do, and so I'm very much know that promotions will be coming on the way, and there could be other ways that we can make money and whatnot. And I just feel like having a child would help Bryler too, because that way he can have a sibling that he can interact with, and it won't always have to be us. And later on, maybe even that child could help us with taking care of Bryler. So.
Andre, how do you see that Amber feels about having another child?
Pardon?
How do you understand that how Amber feels about having another child?
Well, I see that she's not open to it. Now that we've talked with Lauren, I now understand that she would be open to it after elementary school, and while Bryler is in school and being taken care of by someone else. I can see that she feels very tired. Every time I come home, she's tired, and she tells me how it's been a rough day or it's been an alright day, but I can definitely understand why she wouldn't want to have another child. But it's confusing and conflicting to me, because we talked so long about having more children, and so I don't want to have that age gap between them, and I think that's where we disagree on, is our dreams when we were dating and when we were engaged, and now not being able to do that for a while, it's causing some misunderstanding. But I can see her point of view. We just wanted a third-party opinion.
Amber, it sounds like he wants the both of you to have another child so that you can feel rejuvenated, but he also says that he understands that you're tired. Do you think that he fully understands where you're coming from?
Since he's not present for the full day-to-day care and activities, I don't think he fully understands just the nature of his care, and I know he understands to a certain extent, because he is involved in some of it, but I feel like if we were to switch roles for a day, he would understand more so what exactly is involved in his care and how utterly exhausting it is just to care for him daily.
Would it be possible for you guys to switch roles for a day?
No, not with my job, because I have an executive position in a business company.